find a seat that's comfortable for you, and I'll intro our class for today. Amanda, oh, I'm happy to see you there. If you've been doing a flow yoga class, which is what we do in this class, people ask me all the time, what kind of yoga is it that we're doing? In this class, what we have been doing is a flow, or some people call it a vinyasa class, where you move from one pose to the next, using your breath to take you from that one pose to the next pose. So all of you have been doing flow yoga for a while, and you know that your downward dog placed well leads you into a good plank, and a good plank placed well leads you to a good chaturanga, and a good well-placed chaturanga leads you to a good back bend cobra or upward dog, and so on. So you have been doing this so long that you don't really have to think about the alignment so much. You don't have to run through the checklist of where your shoulders are, where your wrists are, because you've been doing it with good alignment for a long time. So we know as flow yogis that one well-placed pose puts us in a good position for the next pose. So Oprah Winfrey says it better than I do. Oprah said that putting yourself in a good position in this moment puts you in the best position for the next moment. So we're going to go through our poses today, doing the best that we can in each moment. So I'll just give you a little fair warning. We're going to work up to a apex pose that's intense. So most of the poses that we're going to do before we get to that apex pose are leading us to that pose. So I don't want you to worry about that pose yet. I just want you to try to do your best in each pose, today on your mat and today in your life. So find a good seat and close your eyes. These few moments of grounding here are important to set the stage, to put us in the best position for all the movement that we'll do today. So take a moment to feel the parts of your body that touch the earth. Allow those to settle. And then on your next inhale, sit a little bit taller, lift the crown of your head up to the sky. And feel this expanse between earth and sky that is you. Reaching from earth to sky, reaching from this moment to the next moment, by placing yourself well. Bring your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, and make a commitment to yourself to do your best in each moment. Your best might look different from the best of the person next to you. But be on your mat with yourself, with your best, knowing that that will lead you to the best position for the next moment. As you exhale, release your hands down to your lap. And as you inhale, sit a little taller again, draw your shoulders back, broaden across your chest, and then open your eyes. All right, if you want to follow along with my playlist, you're welcome to get that started now. So that's on Spotify. If you want that, you can press play. If not, any music that you want, you've got your own yoga studio going on there. And then we will meet on our mats on all fours. So here's a position you've been in so many times before. But take a moment to place yourself well on your mat. So anytime, or almost any time, that your hands are bearing weight, you want to spread your fingers out and really press those finger pads into the mat. In this position, make sure that your wrists are right underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. Try breathing in and out of your nose here. Nice rhythmic breath. And then on your next exhale, take cat pose. Lift your spine towards the sky, push the floor away with your hands and with your knees. And then as you inhale, cow pose. Let the chest come forward as the tops of the thighs move back. And do this a couple more times. Exhaling for cat. And inhaling to cow. Letting the breath dictate your movement from pose to pose. After your next cow pose, come into a neutral spine. Extend your left leg back and put the whole foot down onto the floor. So the toes point out to the side. As you inhale, take your left hand back behind you and up to the sky, and then reach it over your head and down towards the floor. We're going to do 2 more circles around. Try to just get deeper into that range of motion in your shoulder as you start to warm it up. 1 more circle around here. And then take that left arm straight up overhead. Get steady into your core. Now start to lift the left foot off the floor. Bend your left knee so that your left heel comes in towards your left hip. I want you to really squeeze in there and feel the hamstring muscles working to draw your left heel closer to your left hip, and then reach down with your left hand, grab your left foot. You can use a strap here if you like, and then press your foot back into your hand, moving your heel away from your hip, bringing your chest forward, opening up into a back bend here. And then on an exhale, mindfully release the pose, coming back to hands and knees. We'll take 1 round of cat and cow here. Exhaling for cat and inhaling for cow. And then back to neutral. Second side, extend your right leg back, foot fully down onto the floor. As you inhale, take your right hand back past your right hip and up overhead, and then down towards the floor. 2 more circles like that on your own, inhaling to take the arm back and up, and exhaling to lower it down. Maybe on this 3rd circle, you even take the arm back behind you and down. And then take that right arm straight up to the sky. Stay steady with your focus because this is a balance pose. Strong into the core. Lift your right foot up and then bend your right knee, drawing your right heel in towards the hip. So really use the muscles on the back of that leg. See if you can squeeze the heel in a little bit closer to the hip, and then reach down with your right hand or your strap. Grab your foot, hug in. And then on an exhale, push your foot away from your hip, broaden across your chest. And then exhale, mindfully release down to all fours. 1 more time, exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. And then from a neutral spine, strong belly, really press into your finger pads, tuck your toes under. Use this pose that you're in, the all fours, to place you in a good spot for your downward dog. Lift the knees up. Stretch the heels towards the earth, with the hips up towards the sky. Let your head hang down here. Move it around a little bit. Open up your neck. Bob your head around. Circle it around. Whatever feels good for you. And then come to stillness with your head. Introduce a little bit of movement in your legs. So you can pedal the legs out. That's one option. Another option is to shift the hips side to side. Whatever opening feels good for you, more for the lower body. And then come back into stillness again. Look up between your hands. You're going to bring your left foot in about 1 inch and turn the left toes out just a little bit. So the left toes point out at about a 45-degree angle. Inhale, lift your right leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee. and hug your heel in towards your hip. So again, with that right leg, you're using the muscles on the back of the leg to squeeze the heel in towards your hip, and then get a little bit lighter in your left hand, maybe lifting the palm off the mat. You might lift a finger or two off the mat, maybe all the fingers lift off the mat. That's all we're doing here. Lower your hand back down, lower your right foot down to the mat, and then square the left foot up. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. So shorten up your downward dog on the right side. So bring that right foot in about an inch. Turn the toes out at about a 45-degree angle. Look up at the front of your mat or maybe between your hands. Inhale, take the left leg back and up. And then hug your heel in towards your hip. So bending the knee, hugging in, using the muscles on the back of that leg, training the muscles to pull in there. And then start to get lighter in the right hand. Maybe you come on to fingertips. Maybe you lift a couple of fingertips up. Maybe all the fingertips lift off the floor. And then put the whole hand back down. Stretch your leg back. And then lower it down to the floor, downward facing dog. Look up at the front of your mat and walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Stand in forward bend, fold over your legs. Keep the forward bend, take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Lift the tops of the shoulders away from the floor, and then start to bring your hands away from your back. Put as much of a bend in your knees as you need here. I want you to feel stretching across the back body and also across the shoulders. If you're only feeling it in one place, you need to back off in that place. So if you're only feeling this in the backs of the legs, bend the knees a little bit. If you're only feeling it in the shoulders, back off in the arms or bring the arms closer to the low back a little bit. One more breath in here. And then as you exhale, release your hands down to the floor. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Place your left fingers on the floor, about underneath your face. That hand can also be on a block if that's more comfortable for you. We're going to twist around to the right. So bend the left knee and take the right arm up to the sky, twisting to the right. And then see if you can wrap that right hand around behind your back, maybe even grabbing your left inner thigh as you twist. Inhale, take the right arm back up to the sky. Exhale, lower it down to the mat as you straighten the left leg. And now twist to the second side. So right fingers plant on the floor or on a block. Bend the right knee and twist around to the left. Take the left arm up. And then maybe take that left hand around behind your back, maybe into your right inner thigh crease. And then inhale, left arm back up. Exhale, lower it down to the floor as you straighten the right leg. Fold in. And then inhale, rise up. Both arms high up overhead. Look up and then exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. One breath, one movement as we flow through here. Use your breath as your guide, not necessarily my voice. You know this vinyasa, but we're going to start this one with a chair pose. Take a breath in, exhale, lower the hips down, inhale, lift the heart up. Take one more breath in here, exhale, forward bend, hands to the mat, straighten the legs, fold over them, and then inhale, lengthen forward, exhale, downward facing dog. Put yourself in a good downward dog, plant your hands, inhale into plank. Best plank here. Exhale, leads to the best chaturanga, lower down, and then inhale, cobra. Lift up, exhale, downward facing dog. Look at the front of your mat and walk your feet up, or take two big steps or maybe one big hop, fold over your legs, and then a chair pose. Low hips, lift up through the heart. And then straighten the legs, stand all the way up. Just a little bit of a back bend here. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Here we go again with the chair pose. Lower your hips, lift your arms. This time, exhale, hands to your heart. Twist to the right, bring your left arm across, hook it on the outside of that right leg. Twist. So you really work the twist here because we're going to hold that twist and move with it. Take your gaze down to the front of your mat, shift your weight into your right foot, lift your left heel up, squeeze those muscles on the back of the leg, lift the left heel up, and then stretch the left leg back, keeping the twist the whole time. Lower the ball of the left foot down to the ground. And then as you inhale, release. Hands down to the mat. Walk the right foot farther out to the right. We're going to place our palms down so wrists are underneath the shoulders here in this lunge. And we're going to do push-ups here. These are more for hip opening than anything else. As you inhale, bend the elbows, get low. As you exhale, straighten the arms, top of the push-up. 4 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time, go low, and then exhale. So we're almost in a plank. We just got to get that right leg to the back of the mat. So hug the right knee into the right shoulder, and then hug the right heel up to the right hip, and then step the right foot back to plank. Now lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg back and up behind you, stretch it up high. And then exhale, lunge your right foot to the top of your mat. Come up to warrior 2. Reverse warrior. This pose puts us in the best place for our next pose. Inhale up to warrior 2. Exhale, side angle pose. If you're putting your arm on your thigh, put it there. If you're bringing your fingers to the ground or to a block, bring them down inside your front leg. Top arms alongside the ear. We'll take either a half or full bind here. So take that left arm around behind your back. That's the half bind. You can stay right here if you feel ready for it. Bring your right arm underneath the right leg. Either use a strap to get the hands together or hook the hands together. Take that bind here, twisting open to the sky. And then as you inhale, release. Hands down to the mat. One leg dog. Take your right leg back and up. Bend your knee and twist open. Inhale, stretch that right leg back behind you again. Now you're going to turn the left toes out to the left just a little bit. Hug your right heel in towards your hip. Get strong into the core. Look up between your hands. We're going to start to lift the left hand off the mat. Maybe reach that left hand back, grab that right foot. So you're grabbing the inside of the foot, and then push the foot into the hand. Bring the chest forward, and then exhale, release. Foot to the mat, downward dog. Big breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Look at the top of your mat and walk or step or hop your feet all the way up to the top, fold over your legs, chair pose, low hips, high heart, and then stand all the way up. A little back bend when you get to the top. You can put your hands at your low back for support or behind your head for neck support. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Second side, it starts with chair. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And then we add a twist to this chair pose. So bring your hands to your heart. This time we twist to the left. So bring your right arm across, hook it onto the outside of that left leg. Get steady with your gaze. It's going to be easier, more grounding if you look at the floor. Harder if you look to the side wall or to the ceiling. Put your weight into your left foot. Hug your right heel up towards your right hip. Squeeze those hamstring and calf muscles together. And then stretch your leg towards the back of your mat. Lower the ball of the foot down. Twist just a little bit more here now that you're in lunge. And then use your inhale to release. Hands down to the mat. Work that left foot wide so you can bring the left hand down inside the left foot. So we're in lunge here with the arms inside the left leg. Make sure that your left wrist is underneath your left shoulder. Place it well for these 5 push-ups. Inhale to lower. Exhale to straighten the arms. 4 more on your own. I've got 1 more. When you finish that 5, imagine yourself in the plank here. All we gotta do is move that left leg consciously. So hug the left knee into the left shoulder. Hug the left heel up towards the left hip, and then step the left foot back to plank. Now lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg back and up behind you. See if you can lift that leg just a little bit higher. That's how you do it. And then exhale, mindfully lunge your foot up at the top of your mat. Use your core to get that left foot up. Inhale, inhale, lift up to warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Stretch back. And then inhale back into warrior 2, side angle pose. Either forearm on the thigh or left hand on the floor or block in front of the left leg. Here we take either the half bind by taking the right arm around behind the back, or maybe the full bind, reaching the left arm under, grabbing the hands together, and then finding your twist to open up here. Inhale to release, hands down to the mat. 1 leg dog, take your left leg back and up, bend your knee and twist open. And then square your hip up. So hug your left heel in towards your left hip. Turn the right heel in a little and the right toes out just a little bit. Start to get lighter in your right hand. Maybe your best in this position is just lifting the palm of the hand off the mat. Maybe you lift a couple of fingertips. If you lift the whole hand off, reach back, see if you can grab the inside of that left foot, and then push the foot into the hand, look forward. You're creating a back bend here. And then exhale, release, hand down to the mat, foot down to the mat. Look up at the top of your mat, then walk, step, or hop your feet forward, fold over your legs. I believe this is the last chair pose of the practice, so go for it. Lower the hips, lift the heart. It doesn't last long, blast off. Straighten the legs, stand up, and then take a standing back bend here. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we're going to take a cleansing breath here to physically let go of whatever happened in that last flow. Big inhale through your nose. Exhale, blow it out. And now we move on. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, float down to the earth. One pose leads to the next. Inhale, lengthen out. On your exhale, begin your vinyasa. You know you can skip these if you want, or use your breath to guide you from pose to pose. So when you get to downward dog, look around for your block or something that's going to stand in for a block for you, and place that at the front of your mat. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. We're going to make it work. All right, get down to your belly, however you want to get down there. And then take your block between your hands and stretch your arms straight out. Hug your belly in. Inhale, lift up, Locust Pose, Shavasana, arms and legs are lifting. Hold the block in your right hand. You're going to circle both arms around behind your back. Left hand grabs the block behind your back. Bring it out in front. 2 more circles around like that. Stay lifted the whole time. 3rd circle around. Keep your hands behind your back. So you're holding the block behind your back. Chest is lifted, legs are lifted. Bend your knees. Use those hamstring muscles. See if you can place your block between your ankles. And then bring your hands down underneath your shoulders. Keep the block squeezed between your ankles. Straighten your legs. Tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Block is still between your ankles. Fold in here, and then with your hands, grab the block. Inhale, stand up tall, both arms up overhead. We're pretty much together here, that's good. Shift your weight into your right foot. Bring your left knee up to hip height. So really use your core here. You're also using your hip flexors, but use your core. See if you can keep that left knee lifted to hip height, and then kick your foot straight out in front of you. And then plant that left foot about halfway forward on your mat. Both legs are straight here. Exhale, bow forward, block coming down to the mat in front of your foot. And then bow over your straight right leg. Take your left arm on the inside of your left leg and reach it back and see if you can grab the inside of your right leg. So maybe sliding that hand down to until you're grabbing your inner right ankle, or your hand might be higher on the leg. Fold in here, big hamstring stretch. And then inhale, release your left arm, bring it out to your block. Bend into your left knee, and then inhale. Take your arms up overhead as you stand upright here. We're going to stand on the left foot. Bring the right knee forward to hip height. Strong core. Press your right heel straight forward, and then plant your right foot at the front of your mat. Half moon pose. Take that block in your right hand down to the floor. Come into your half moon here. And then we'll turn it into half moon sugar cane. So start to bend your left knee. Before you just reach back with your hand and make your arm and your shoulder do all the work, see if you can use the muscles on the back of that left leg to pull your heel in, and then reach down with your left hand or your strap. Draw in, and then open it up. Push your foot back into your hand, opening across the chest. So you're going to keep your left heel hugging into your left hip, and then bring your left hand down to the floor. You're going to transfer the block so it's under the left hand now. So we're in sort of a grounded warrior 3, but that left heel is still hugging in towards the left hip. My hamstring's talking to me. I don't know about yours. Now, get light into the right hand. Reach back with the right hand. See if you can grab the inside of that left foot. Revolved half moon sugar cane. Push your foot up towards the ceiling and away from your hip. Twisting, opening up. And then exhale, release. Step your left foot to the back of your mat and lunge. One leg dog. Take your right leg back and up. One leg dog. One leg vinyasa if you want, or you can put both feet on the ground and flow with both feet lowered. You're looking great there. All right, friends, from downward dog. Let's do this. I think we'll just start the second side right here. come onto your belly. Put the block between your hands and stretch your arms out in front. Make sure your belly is strong. And then inhale, lift up away from the floor. Arms and legs lifting. Hold the block in your left hand. Circle both arms back around behind your back. Transfer the block to your right hand. Bring it out in front. That's one circle. You've got 2 more. Or 2 and a half. On this third one, hold the block behind your back. Bend your knees. Hug your heels in towards your hips. See if you can place that block between your inner ankles or inner feet, whatever works. Hands down underneath your shoulders, and then keeping the block between the legs. Straighten the legs back behind you. Tuck your toes under. Take a breath in. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet at the back of your mat. And now you can take the block out from between your ankles. Fold in here. And then as you inhale, rise up to stand, arms up overhead. We're now going to shift our weight into the left foot. Bring your right knee up to about hip height. Strong belly, kick that right heel straight forward. And then lower your straight leg down about halfway forward on your mat. Exhale, bow forward, releasing the block down to the floor and fold over your leg. Right leg is still straight. Bring your right arm inside the right leg and reach it back and see if your right hand can grab the inside of the left leg. So a little bit higher on your leg is easier. Lower down around the ankle is harder, more intense. Also the space between your feet magnifies the intensity, or the greater the space is, the intensity magnifies. And then inhale, release your hand, both hands onto the block. Bend your right knee and then inhale, lift up right. Block is up overhead. Now we're going to stand on that right leg, bring the left knee up to hip height. Strong belly, press the heel straight forward, and then half moon pose. Plant your left foot down at the front of your mat. Bring the block down in your left hand, and open up into half moon here. A well-placed half moon leads us to the best position for half moon sugar cane. Bend your right knee, hugging that right heel up towards your hip, and then reach back with your hands so you can find your foot. Strap works here. Maybe you open up the pose a little bit into a back bend. And then draw your heel back and towards your hip. You're just going to use your muscles to hold it there as you release your hands down to the floor. Slide the block over to the right, underneath the right hand. Square your hips up, right heel still hugging into the right hip. Reach the left hand back. See if you can find the inside of your foot. And then revolve, half moon, sugar cane. Press your foot up towards the ceiling. Draw your left shoulder back. One more breath in here, and then exhale, release. Foot down, hand down, fold in. You can move the block off to the side, and then inhale, rise up to stand. I gave you a one-leg dog on the other side, didn't I? With the flow? Yeah, I did. Okay, so step your left foot to the, step your right foot to the back of your mat. One leg dog, take the left leg back and up, bend your knee, twist open. I think that's the second side. If it doesn't feel right, you can change it up. And then when you're done with that one leg flow, if you haven't taken that, once you're done with that, we're going to meet in downward dog. If you're already at the top of your mat, stay right there because we're coming for you. And then from downward dog, bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold into them. And then inhale, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart, close your eyes. Everything that we've done until this point is leading us to our apex pose. So you are memorizing with the body these positions that you need to be in. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, let go. Doing our best in each pose puts us in the best position for the next pose or the next moment in life. Here we go, last flow, it's a short one. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lengthen. Make your way through your vinyasa or not to downward facing dog. If you had enough of that vinyasa, leave it out. If you can't get enough, put it in. From downward dog, inhale, right leg back and up, lift it high. Exhale, use your core to plant your right foot at the top of your mat. Come up to warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Triangle pose. Stretch forward, both side bodies. Try to stay long. Right fingers to the floor or your block. Turn it up here. Open up. And then on your exhale, hands down to the mat. Let's bring the right arm inside the right leg. You can walk that right foot out a little bit. And then take your right hand behind the right shin. Push the shin forward and start to lower your shoulder or your arm underneath that right leg. And then take your hands out to the sides. So be on fingertips here. Hands out to the sides. You can stay right here, or if you want to bind those hands behind your back, you can take them back and make your bind here. And then inhale, release, unwind. One leg dog, step your right leg back and up. Bend your knee and twist open here. First option, stay here in the one leg dog with a twist. Second option, flip over. And then back around to one leg dog. Lower that right foot down to the ground. We'll start the second side right here. Inhale, left leg back and up. Exhale, core, plant your left foot up between your hands. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Try to keep that left side body long as you come into your triangle. And then bend into your left knee as you bring both hands down to the ground. Take your left arm inside the left leg and take your left hand behind the shin. Push it forward, lower your shoulder down. Take your hands out to the sides so they're off your mat, wide, on fingertips. You can stay right here or take your hands behind your back, maybe with a strap, and make a bind here with your hands. On your next inhale, release that pose. One leg dog, left leg flies back and up behind you. Bend your knee, twist open. First option is to hang right there. Second option is to flip over. Listen to your shoulder especially. That was beautiful, that flipping over. Looking good. And then inhale, back around to one leg dog. You got one last one leg flow if you want it. You're gonna meet in a child's pose when you're done with your flow of whatever sort it is. Take a moment, let all the poses that we've done until now settle into your being, settle into your body, knowing that you've done your best here in every pose. And then sit up and look. I'm going to show you our apex pose. So I'm just going to apologize on the front end of this. I'm going to turn my back to you and bend over. So I think that's the best angle for you to see what we're going to do. So I'm going to take my feet a little bit wide and bow forward. I'm going to bend both knees. I'm going to take my right arm behind, inside that right leg, grab the back of the shin, push it forward, and then lower my right hand down somewhere behind my right foot. Not that important because I'm going to be moving it. The left hand comes out to the side on fingertips. And then I bring all my weight into the right foot. Lift the left leg back and bend the knee. Here, I'm using the muscles on the back of the leg to hug the foot in. And then I'm going to lift that right arm up, grab my foot, and then point the left knee up towards the ceiling as best as I can, and straighten the standing leg. And that's the pose right here. Did you catch that? Yeah? No? Okay, I'm gonna talk you through it. I'm gonna do it with you. And we'll see how it goes. Remember, we've done our best in the poses that have led us here. So we'll see how this one goes. So stand on your mat, feet outer hip width distance apart. And then fold over, hands down onto the mat. Put a little bend into your knees. We're going to focus on that right leg at first. Walk the right hand back behind the right leg. Push the shin forward and get the shoulder or the upper right arm in as deep as we can. And then take that right hand back behind the right foot somewhere. Remember, it's going to move. Left hand, straighten the left arm. Take the left arm out to the left and a little bit of a diagonal to the right foot. So it's not straight out in front of your shoulder. It's out to the left a little bit. Shift your weight into your right foot. Then you're going to start to lift that left leg up, hugging the left heel into your left hip. Make the muscles on the back of the leg work, and then lift the right hand up. See if you can grab the left foot, and then start to point the left knee up towards the ceiling as you straighten your standing leg. Yeah, there's a lot of balance, a lot of flexibility in the hip, in the quad involved here. I know, it's intense. You got it. Good job. All right, use your inhale to come out of that one. It's such an intense pose. There's so much going on. Use your inhale to come out. All right. If you have questions, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask them here before we take the second side, or we can move right on to side two. Linda's coming in for a question. I can't hear you, Linda. Oh, sorry, Linda. I can't hear you, and I can't figure out how to. Okay, sorry about that. Linda, I'll get with you later. Oh, where to grab the foot. Okay, I think Linda's asking where to grab the foot. So again, I'll turn around behind you to show. I'm gonna grab the palm onto the top of the foot. I hope you can see that. Okay, second side. So we're gonna stand with the feet a little wide, just to give us access to get underneath there. Fold over. Bend both knees a little bit. This time, left hand comes behind the left shin and pushes it forward, and you work that left shoulder or arm as deep as it feels right for you, and then plant the left hand somewhere behind the left foot. Right arm is straight, and the right arm reaches out at a diagonal to the left foot, fingertips on the ground. Shift your weight into your left foot, and then start to bring that right leg behind you, bending your knee. Left palm grabs the top
of the right foot. And then you start to point the right knee up towards the ceiling as you straighten the left leg.
Yeah. That's it. You got it there. Use your inhale to release and come out of that one. Good job. All right. Come down on, to a seat on your mat. That was a lot of forward bending. So we're going to do one back bend from here, and then we'll come down onto our backs. So this is going to be a reverse tabletop. It's easier to get into the reverse tabletop with bent knees, harder with straight legs. You decide at this point in the practice what you're up for. Bring your hands behind you. You can point the fingers back behind you or forward. If your wrists are tight, point your fingers out to the sides. Take a breath in, lift the chest up, and then on an exhale, press into your feet, press into your hands, lift the hips up. Try not to let your head just drop back. Reach towards the wall behind you with the crown of your head as you lift your hips up. And then exhale, lower the hips down. Bend your knees, soles of the feet on the mat, and then roll down to your back. We'll take one back bend here. So at this point, bridge pose would feel lovely. If your block is still accessible, or if you even have one, you can take a supported bridge pose with the block underneath your hips. Or a regular bridge pose. Open up the front of the body. On your exhale, lower your hips back down to the mat. Draw your right knee in towards your hip. Stretch your left leg long. And we'll twist here. So use your left hand to guide your right leg over to the left, and then stretch your right arm back out to the right. Make sure your breaths are deep and full here. The effort of the practice is over, but you still want to be mindful as you go into these more passive stretches. Inhale, bring your knee up and hug both knees in again. And then keep your left leg or left knee drawn in. Stretch your right leg out on the mat. And then on an exhale, take that left knee over to the right. Stretch the left arm to the left. And then inhale, bring your knee up, draw both knees in. If it feels good, rock across your back. And then happy baby pose. Widen the knees out, reach up, grab your feet,
Draw the knees down towards the mat.
And then as you're ready, release those feet. If you want any other finishing poses, we got a little bit of a late start because of our technical glitch. So we've run out of time for inverting. But if you want an inversion or any other finishing poses, take those. If not, start to stretch your body out on your mat for Shavasana. And when you've landed in your corpse pose, take the time to settle in. And then 2 cleansing breaths on your own. So really big inhale through your nose. Nice, long, slow, easy exhale through your mouth. One more on your own. Letting go of the effort of the practice and then resting in the knowledge that you did the best that you could with what you had to work with in each pose, in each moment, and doing the best in that moment put you in the best place for the next moment. Soften where you can and settle in. Start to space your breath out a little bit so your inhales are a little longer and your exhales are a little longer. The breath is the thread that ties moment to moment. So use your breath to awaken you to a new moment, a new part of your day. Stretch your arms overhead, stretch your legs long, lengthen your body out. And then on an exhale, roll to your side. Take a moment to honor yourself here for doing the best that you can in each moment and for placing yourself in the best position for the next moment. And then on an exhale, bring yourself up to a seat and close your eyes. Bring your hands together at your heart. I hope that as you go through your day, you're able to be present with the moments in your day as they pass, doing the best that you can in any given moment, knowing that that sets you in the best place for the next moment. Let's take one moment here to join our energy together, and we'll send it to all of those in need. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.